mate?
Good evening. Welcome to the Line Travellers. You've got Licks and Peacock here. How are you?
Hey, bro. Good. How are you?
Yeah, good. We
Good,
received your voicemail and you're interested to talk about the Egyptian mythology and how the pyramids were built.
Yep.
So what are your thoughts on it?
I'm not too sure what's going on.
Mm.
I've always watched it through obviously our whole life growing up,
Mhm.
and then you see all the dudes on Joe Rogan talking about the Egypt and the tonnage and impossible of them getting that weight up to where it goes.
And man, what they teach us about it in school is they had ramps going for 20, 30 kilometres, and they were bringing cubic tons of sandstone up those ramps via Hebrew slaves. I mean, I reckon that's bullshit, eh?
Yeah, well, that's what they reckon, because you'd still be able to see those ramps nowadays now.
You would, yeah, for kilometres.
Exactly right. And as you said before, perfectly cut in these, precision cuts using as we said, discussed before, sandstone, like rubbing sandstone,
Yeah.
So, yeah. Man, when we got your voicemail, you were talking about the granite pillars in the tomb of the king. How much did you say they weighed?
From what I seen last, it was the dude I was watching at the time, 3 ton.
So, man, 3 ton, and also if you go back in that time, they didn't have cutting tools that could cut through granite. So, do you know how they reckon they cut it? This is what the mainstream people are telling us. They reckon they use sand rubbing. So, these Hebrew slaves rub sand on the granites to get them completely symmetrical, 30-ton block, and then just cart it on in.
And just, put it up there somehow. What the fuck?
That's pretty mind-blowing, isn't it?
Yeah. So, man, what are you up to this evening?
Not too much, just chilling, talking to my brother in Nelson Bay and talking about you guys, and he said you should give him a ring.
Yeah, so how'd you find out about our podcast?
Just through my brother. Apparently he works with one of you guys, and yeah.
Yeah, righto. Nice. So, man, realistically, you're having a couple of cold ones tonight, maybe a couple of hot ones, who knows? We're not here to judge. But so do you think there is a vast possibility that there may have been an extraterrestrial presence that has built the pyramids?
That's the big question.
That is.
I reckon from what they say and the dudes I've watched, they could have been.
Yeah. As you're saying, obviously well versed in Joe Rogan, you've heard of Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Randall Carlson was going on about how I think they're trying to go into the technology now of using levitation or sound waves or something to actually levitate these stones, or they could have back in the day.
Lost technology.
Potentially.
That's right.
Yeah, that's fucking. I think that is more plausible than some cunts 40,000 slaves getting these things up a couple of ramps and somehow putting them into place. What the fuck? It's not possible.
And especially if some dude's coming up with this sort of shit and they're banning him from going to Egypt.
This man is a thief, and I don't want to talk to him. And I don't want his name to be mentioned.
In academics, there is a
He's not academic. He is nothing.
In academic world, we do not do ad hominem arguments. We do not debate the land. We debate the matter.
The matter is debated already and it's closed. It is debated closed. It's closed in Chicago by all Australians, by everyone.
Then you don't want to hear anything like that.
Exactly. I don't want to hear it.
Shame on you.
It's connected. No, please don't say this to me.
It is true. Because
Don't say this word to me. It's a shame on you, not on me.
to have an open discussion about all matters.
Don't talk to me. Please, go away from me. Shame on you. Why you say shame on me?
Because
Why?
we should be able to openly discuss.
I don't want to. This man did bad things. I don't want to hear his name.
This man.
And I am going to call. I want to let this man not to enter this country at all. Because he's a cop. It's not my own business.
Really, we should be able to have a
Please, I
discussion.
don't want to talk to you. Please, leave me alone. Someone talk about a hearing of someone else. Why? Why is talking about a hearing that has been closed? Why have to open the theory again?
The theory is not closed.
It is closed.
No, it's not.
Everywhere. And I don't know why you talk about it. It's not, it's his fucking thing. Why do you talk about it?
It's
You
not.
have to present your own hearing, not to present the
It
thing.
is not closed, Zach.
Okay, I closed
am presenting my own
Okay,
theory.
I'm not going to attend this.
I have written books with Mr. Butler.
I'm not going to attend this.
Even before a word is exchanged, one image, and Mr. Abbas leaves the room. Shameful. I'm here. I'm willing to debate. I do believe this is a great shame for Egyptology.
Well, he does not want to talk about the law.
Well, I'm sorry, Bavar is central to the alternative argument.
Yeah.
We cannot have a discussion without Bavar.
Are you well versed in what's going on with like the disclosure with like the alien technology, UFOs, all that's coming out in the American Congress?
It must be some sort of alien technology. If they can cut granite stones like that.
To pinpoint accuracy, man. And
yeah, like as we discussed before, we like possibly these pyramids, they're throughout the world, like China, fucking, you know, the Amazon and shit. Like they're using these back in the day as like maybe like energy sources and shit. You know what I mean? Like it's a possibility.
It's a major possibility, especially the sound wave stuff. I've seen goes back to TikTok. TikTok again, where they've used sound wave shit to cut stuff. It's pretty freaky.
Yeah, and move stuff and stuff
if
like
they
that.
can do it now, and years ago, before we were even around, and they got to that major point of technology, they could do it easy.
Yeah, well, that's it. I do believe there has been some form of lost technology throughout the generations. There's a really fantastic documentary by Graham Hancock called Ancient Apocalypse, where he talks about this all the time, hey, how we lost technology from back then, and now we can't even achieve the feats that they did then with ease.
Yeah.
Something's got to be going on.
Well, that's it. What's on the agenda for the rest of the evening?
Not too much. Mrs. is cooking some pork riblets.
Nice.
Pork riblets.
Gonna eat them.
So you're just taking it easy, keeping it sleazy?
Just chilling.
Yeah, nice. Well, thank you very much for the call. And we do this every second Saturday, so please feel free to call in whenever you please. Obviously, after at least 6 to 10 beers, that's definitely recommended. But thank you very much for your call. And as I said, watch Graham Hancock's documentary on Netflix called Ancient Apocalypse. It'll blow your fucking mind, hey?
Cool. Thanks very much, guys.
Thanks
All
for
right,
the
bro.
call,
I'll chat to you later.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
Hey, boys.
See ya. Thanks for the call. I think he may have resided around Nilsson Bay area. But
Yes.
yeah, appreciate the call. You know, we're about the pyramids. We're about the alternate way that happened, and what's going on there. Like exactly right. So we've been told one thing, like you brought up before, about how it happened. Like who the fuck said how it happened like that? When you have things of such precision put in place, the tonnage that went across it, it's been discussed multiple times, and like. We can't do it. We can't replicate it in today's technology.
Man, I watched a YouTube video probably about, it was post-COVID, so maybe about 5-6 years ago, and it was modern-day engineers with modern-day equipment trying to erect an obelisk, you know, the big...
Yeah.
And, man, they could not fucking do it because it's made of sandstone. Every time they brought it up with cranes and stuff, it would just snap in half.
Exactly right. So hopefully in the not too distant future, Randall Carson and all his colleagues will come out maybe. I believe they were studying the technology and they may have been near a breakthrough. We haven't heard much about it as of yet.
Yeah.
But it's possible there. As you said, lost technology, ancient civilizations that had this, that did this. We can fucking see it with our own eyes. Right?
Absolutely.
So there's something going on there. Great documentary, Graham Hancock, if you haven't aware of. Netflix made it out of all people.
They did, I know. Graham Hancock, Ancient Apocalypse, it really delves deep into all this shit that's going on. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It'll blow your fucking mind, hey?
Yeah. And just want to rehash again, thanks for the calls. You know, we've had a couple calls coming through. We've missed a few, unfortunately, but...
due to technical difficulties.
Like we did have a great hour worth of solid talk, but it doesn't matter. Shit happens. Look, do we look at experts? Obviously we are.
We don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Yes, we do. We're, highly, what do you call it? Highly well-versed in our fields. What's your field?
Female anatomy.
Dear God. Is that even a thing these days?
I don't think so.
I don't know. But Yeah, thanks. We didn't grab his name, but yeah, you know,
I will have to ask that next time.
No, appreciate the call.
Tepe is firmly dated to 9,600 BC. It consists of a vast series of gigantic megalithic pillars, more than 70% of which are still under the ground. They're revealed by ground-penetrating radar. It raises questions over the origin of civilization, since we have not anywhere in the world before found a gigantic megalithic construction dated to 11,600 years ago. And since Turkey is not very far away from here, and since I at least feel there are question marks over the Sphinx, I think it's relevant to consider the recent discovery of a gigantic megalithic site in Turkey dated to 11,600 years ago, and to wonder whether we should raise questions over the Sphinx again.
I don't think that what has been said is right. It has nothing to do with anything. In my opinion, we know the date of the Sphinx. What has been found in Turkey, I don't think, and I don't know if this is true or not. Did you ever hear about this? The radar showed anything? Because I don't believe in radar. I have been using radar all my work. It never made any in the sky. It never made any.
Well, I'm afraid the radar does show, and you're discrediting the German Archaeological Institute. And Professor Klaus Schmidt, who sadly passed away a few months ago, a very sincere and decent, hard-working man, who has published his findings, and which are not in dispute. Göbekli Tepe is 11,600 years old. It is a giant megalithic site. It isn't very far from Egypt. It is a relevant context, in my view. At least it should cause us to have some curiosity about some of the sites in Egypt.
If I can judgment.
The argument about the Sphinx made by Dr. Mark Langer some years ago was that the Sphinx couldn't possibly be 12,000 years old because there was no other site, no other megalithic site anywhere in the world which was anywhere in the range of 12,000 years old. When we have a major discovery conducted by a respected archaeological institute in Turkey of a major megalithic site which is 11,600 years old, I believe it vitiates that argument against an absence of context for the Sphinx, which is also a megalithic monument. By the way, I have no argument with Dr. Hawass over the dating of the pyramids.